Consult an etymological dictionary for the word Bezoar, and the consensus is clear. It derives from the Persian pādzahr, or poison protector. For centuries, this referred specifically to the hardened masses of undigested fiber found within the stomach of the pādzahr goat, a substance once prized as a universal antidote. This definition relies on a utilitarian naming convention. It was imposed by medieval merchants who valued the animal only for its digestive byproducts. This label effectively erased an indigenous identity. It reduced a solar entity of the highlands to a clinical commodity found in a box. The kinetic reality of the animal tells a different story. In its native habitat, it navigates the sheer basalt cliffs of the Armenian plateau while thriving under a glaring, high-altitude sun. To find the true nature of the species, we have to look past the pharmaceutical trade and return to the volcanic heights of its origin. This return requires a shift toward the Armenian first given system, a method of naming that predates foreign commercial labels. In this system, entities are defined by their relationship to primary forces, such as solar energy and physical verticality, rather than their market value. This linguistic logic is anchored to the geography of the Armenian highlands, specifically the volcanic colander of Mount Aragats. When we reconstruct the animal's name through this lens, the Persian loanword falls away, revealing the Bezoar as the vertical spark of the primordial fire. This original etymology provides a structural blueprint that connects the Armenian language directly to the landscape and human biology. To find this original name, we isolate the hypothesized Armenian roots, BEDz and R. The suffix R is the foundational signifier of solar force, used to classify other primary creatures of power like the R-utes or lion and the ardziv or eagle. The AR suffix defines the animal as a product of the sun, a dweller of the high fire. The prefix BEDz translates as spark, signaling an explosive ignition. This refers to the physical friction of the animal's movement. On the slopes of Mount Aragats, the strike of its hooves generates literal sparks. The phonetic roots describe the animal exactly as it exists in the wild. Reassembled, pādzahr identifies the creature as the upright spark of the sun, transforming it from a static object into a dynamic force of the mountain. This naming system relies on a deeper phonetic architecture. In the Armenian alphabet, specific letters are used to encode the difference between solid matter and energy expansion. The letter Z represents solid verticality, the unyielding anchor found in bone, tree, and tension. This pillar maps directly onto the Bezoar's massive V-shaped horns. Its counterpart, Ts, represents the expansion of energy, atmospheric vibration, and radiant light. In the mountains, these states interact. When the spark, the BEDz, strikes the solid rock of the Ds, it creates a physical vibration. This vibration triggers a phase shift, where the solid energy of the rock erupts into the atmospheric radiance of the Ts. The Bezoar is the biological representative of this shift, a solid vertical anchor that generates a shimmering frequency atop the peak. We see this same fire root in the scientific name Capra agagris, specifically in the syllables ag and agra. While often translated as field, the deeper root ag refers to the driving force of fire, the same root found in Agni. This fire originates with Vahag, the highland dragon reaper, born from a vertical volcanic eruption. The altar fire Agni in the east is a later development. The true source is Vahag's volcanic fire at the peak. The Bezoar is the ag agra, or fire leader, the sentinel that stayed behind at the primordial source. This suggests that the foundational human concept of fire began in the sparking heights of the Armenian plateau, rather than the plains. If the landscape and animals are built from these roots, we can look for the same architecture within the structural names of the human body. The Armenian word for tooth is agra, mirroring the word for the mountain peak, Aragats. As the hardest substance in the frame, the tooth serves as our internal basalt, the anatomical equivalent of the fired mountain peak. Held within the V-shaped jaw, mirroring the Bezoar's sweeping horns, and the volcanic highland colander, this architecture directs our gaze upward, toward the peaks. This connection is recognized in the Agra Hadig tradition, celebrating a child's first tooth. It marks the first fire spike emerging from the body. Human anatomy reflects the identical Vahagnic fire found in the goat and the rock.
The definition of the Bezoar as a medicinal commodity collapses under the weight of this codex. The animal is the living volcanic spark of the heights. The first given system integrates phonetics, biology, and geology into a single framework. The roots of the language, the peaks of the mountain, and the skeletal structure of the body all operate on the same elemental frequency. To find the true origin of an ancient word, we must look to the physical landscape that forged it. The vertical spark of the primordial fire remains alive today,